All right, everybody, welcome to another Legacy Doomsday extravaganza. Today we are going to be playing Turbo Doomsday yet again. I have been very, very busy at work, and so I've been writing lots of papers, preparing for this course I've been teaching. Haven't been having a lot of time to play Legacy, but there is a Legacy 1K coming up locally for me this Sunday, and I hope to play Doomsday in that. And so I thought it might be wise, since I will be missing my locals this Thursday for my friend's birthday, to jam a league with the deck that I intend to play at this 1K on the weekend, just to kind of see how it feels. So this deck is almost identical to the list that I played 2 videos ago now. This is Brandon's list, and I made a couple of changes to the main deck. I decided that I own 4 Underground Seas, and you best believe that I am going to play with all 4 of them. So I cut the ninth fetch, and I added an Underground Sea. So we have 4 Underground Seas plus an Undercity Sewers in addition to a swamp and island and a cavern of souls. And then I have 1 Verdant Catacombs as a black fetch to facilitate um, basic swamp at the cost of having one of your 8 fetches not be able to get basic island. Um, the only other change that I made to the list besides that is I cut Ponder number 4 for Days number 2. The last time I played the list, we were only on 1 copy of Days. I really like Days. I want to play at least 2 Dazes, I think. I would like to play 3, but I do also like having the 4 main deck discard spells. So we're going to go back to what I was doing and what others have been doing at like Eternal Weekend and pre-ban. 3 Ponders, 1 Spoils of the Vault. Um, yeah, that's just what we're going to do. I don't know if it's correct, but I do like Spoils of the Vault. Being able to fight against endurance and also through cards like Leovold. It leaves for lots of options. And then the sideboard these days is still looking very clean. We have 4 copies of Force of Negation, 4 additional discard spells to go up to 8, basic island to fight against Blood Moon lands, and to give us 3 basics to cast Barrogoyf against Delver, Jace Wielder of Mysteries as an alternative win condition through Doomsday, and then 5 creatures for tempo in the form of Barrogoyf and Shieldred. This is the list. One quick note about the sideboard. I was thinking that it might be interesting at some point to try to figure out how to fit some number of Leyline of the Voids into the sideboard. I think that card is very well positioned. We're able to fight against Upsal spells quite nicely with these 8 cards right here. But sometimes this isn't enough, and they have a lot of cheeky ways to utilize their Memory's Journey now. Um, but I'm hoping that countering their first attempt and then trying to win ourselves uh, will be enough to keep that deck at bay. But you really need to make a decision, I think, when you're constructing your Doomsday sideboard these days of whether you're going to respect Graveyard Haste. Like I can see Leyline of the Void also being good against Blue-Black Reanimator. But I think in that matchup, we just want to board in some discard spells and try to race them. And we just say that we're going to try to kill you before you reanimate your big thing. In any case, we'll see how it goes. This is the 75 that I will likely submit on the weekend, and let's hope that we can, I don't know, have some fun or at least learn something through the next 5 matches. I'll see you shortly. Let's go. I will say while we're waiting here, actually, I do plan on purchasing an audio interface and then picking up an old microphone that I used to use when I played in a band in high school to get better sound quality. It's quite a nice mic. So that is going to be updated in the future. And then I was also wondering what your thoughts as a viewer are about having my dumb face on a webcam being projected while I play. Would that be distracting for you? Would you prefer it? I sometimes prefer the webcam when I'm watching other people play, but I also see that it clutters the screen a little bit and might distract from the gameplay. So I don't know, looking for some honest feedback on that front if it's something you would prefer. to see, then perhaps I will invest in making that happen. But I think the better mic is going to be uh, the first update that we will do to improve quality. Then you're going to have to suffer along with me as I get better at talking and playing and just playing Doomsday in general. But I hope we're all having a good time nonetheless. I know that I am. I'd be doing this anyways, so I figure I might as well record myself while I do it. And if anyone wants to watch it, that's cool. And if people don't, that's totally fine too. All right, everybody, we got an opponent for round one after a little bit of a wait. Let's see what our hand's looking like here. This hand's looking pretty nice to me. We've got Thassa's Oracle already in the wings, which means that we could use this Street Wraith to cycle down to a Cavern of Souls, depending on what's going on. We've also just got a Brainstorm. So if our opponent's not playing a combo deck, we could go turn one Personal Tutor for Doomsday, turn two Dark Ritual, Doomsday, and then win with Brainstorm. And by not playing a combo deck, I'm sorry, I mean if our opponent is not playing a blue deck. So we're going to keep this hand. We're on the draw. We'll get some sense of what our opponent's up to. The thing that I'm most worried about here is that we just have no protection. And so that is a little all in, depending on what they're up to. We could just die to oops here. But I'm not willing, I think, to mulligan a turn to Doomsday. So we won't. And here's a Windswept Teeth. This might be Nadu. Tropical Island, yep. And a Noble Hierarch. I'm getting Nadu vibes, which means that endurance might be something we have to worry about, and we don't know if they're on Force of Wills or not, because we don't know enough about their strategy just yet. So we draw a Flooded Strand for turn, and I think I'm inclined to put this Personal Tutor on the stack, pick up a Doomsday, and then next turn we can decide how we want to proceed from there. I'll play Basic Island. I don't expect to get Wastelanded, but if they are in some kind of like Maverick strategy, it's probably fine to protect our underground sea here. I'll put Doomsday on top of my deck and we'll ship it back to the opponent and see what they would like to say about a Doomsday. Pendel Haven. Do we think they have Endurance in hand? Oh, Blighted Agent. Okay, okay. So this is Infect. That changes things a little bit. So we draw Doomsday for turn, and then we have to think about whether we're even jamming the Doomsday here. We could play Brainstorm first. We could all just be dead on a crackback. They only have 3 cards in their hand. Playing Brainstorm first doesn't seem like the best idea. Like if we have to find interaction to protect our Doomsday, then we might do it after. And if this Doomsday resolves, we might just be off to the races. So let's, I think, see if the Doomsday resolves. I'm just really worried about dying, you know? And even if they have days here, okay, so they do have force. So now we could cycle Street Wraith, then Brainstorm. See if we can find a Force of Will. What did they pitch? They pitched another agent, so we're probably not dead to Infect next turn, which is nice. I kind of want to go all in on this Doomsday. And the reason we can is that we have the Thassa's Oracle in hand. But I suppose we're trying to draw a Force of Will here. We'll see. Personal Tutor. That's another pitch card. So now we're going to play Brainstorm, I think. And we do not find any interaction. So I'll put Undercity Sewers back with Personal Tutor on top. We'll let their Force of Will resolve, and we'll pass the turn. They only had 3 cards in hand there. I like presenting it. We had a way to try to find protection. We did not find a Force of Will, but now I don't think have to worry about dying this turn, though. There are some beefy pump spells in this format. Next turn, I'd like to cast a Ponder and then probably play Personal Tutor after. If we're going to do all that, I think it's fine to fetch first, get rid of that Undercity Sewers. So we don't really want to see that off the Ponder. I'm a little worried here. I'm not gonna lie. I guess we take an underground sea so that we can cast Doomsday. But this strikes me as a little slow. There's another Doomsday. Let's pass the turn. If we draw Brainstorm, we can just swing for the fences, which would be pretty sweet. Gotta hope they don't have Pump Spell now. Now we're in really risky territory, right? Infect is very similar to Delver in that they've got a lot of interaction and a nice clock. So here we're going to 6 Infect, and we really just gotta hope that they have no pump spells. The Blighted Agent can't be blocked anyways. So, I don't know, Doomsday? Doomsday resolves. Got the Oracle in hand. Could probably cycle down to a cavern. That'll just be that, hopefully. We just really gotta hope that they don't. I mean, Endurance could also get us, but I don't know if Inflect plays main deck Endurance. Put Cavern on the bottom. Wraith, Edge. And we'll just ask our opponent if we're dead or not. It is really in their hands at this point. Doomsday has been cast, somebody is dead. We would have been dead if we didn't cast Doomsday, if they had a pump anyways, so we cast Doomsday and we see what happens. In terms of sideboarding for this matchup, I think I like discard spells. I'm not sure if I want creatures. I think we just want to race them with our Doomsday. But they might have consigned to memories. They could have endurances. There's a lot of things that they could have. Really got to hope our opponent doesn't find a pump spell or a noble hierarch. If they find a pump spell or a noble hierarch, we are dead as doorknobs. They did not find a noble hierarch, so they need a pump spell. They've got to have one, right? No? So they have like endurance or something? I guess I could have beaten endurance by just having Force of Will as my bottom card instead of Cavern of Souls. Yeah, maybe that was kind of dumb. Because we have this personal tutor to pitch, right? They've drawn some number of cards. Let's name Merfolk with our Cavern. Let's go like this. Let's put an Oracle on the stack and I guess see if they have Endurance. Wow. I feel like we got very lucky there. My goodness. Okay. How do we want to fight against our opponent? I want these 4 discard spells, I think. It's also good at just taking their pump spells out of their hand. I don't know that we want Barrow-goyfs. They're so much faster than us. We have no removal spells. I don't think we can really race them with a Barrow-goyf. Do we want a Jace Wielder of Mysteries and or an Island? And what do we want to cut? These are all great questions. Why would Jace be good against Infect? I'm not sure. It seems a little clunky. They probably play Dazes, so I'm not super into that. I think we can get away with cutting an Oracle. Maybe we don't want to cut Oracle because we plan to keep spoils in case they have Endurance. I like being fast. I think we can cut some number of Cabal rituals. Maybe I keep one of those in. The Blistering Cyclers doesn't seem like a bad idea. Edge isn't the best if they're playing Endurance, and our life total is probably going to be unpressured because we're taking poison. Then, do we actually need Consider against this opponent? Why might we need Consider? They're on blue-green. We probably don't have to empty our library. We're worried about Endurance anyways. I think I'm fine trimming Consider and cutting like this. So we're just going to bring in some discard spells and hopefully punch through our combo. Let's go. We also maybe should have guessed that our opponent named Inkmat Nexus was playing Infect and not Nadu when they led on a Windswept Heath, but I did not draw that connection. Ooh, me oh my. We've got spoils in hand. We've got a Duress. We've got a Personal Tutor to pick up a Doomsday, and then we've got Force of Will, Pitch Brainstorm. I'm here for this. We might lead on Duress, but we'll see. I kind of don't mind looking at their hand. We can take their like Consign to Memory. If they don't have interaction, we can take their one of their pump spells perhaps. They're just passing with green up. They can also just have Veil here, which is something we have to be cognizant of. We kind of have to ask ourselves now, do we want to duress our opponent in the face of a possible Veil of Summer? Or now that we've drawn a land, do we just want to get Doomsday and put it on top? I've got Force of Will, but I don't really want to force a Veil of Summer. If we don't duress now, maybe we can duress post Doomsday, or we can like duress next turn. I'm kind of worried about Veil here. I think I'd like to just pick up a Doomsday here. We'll play around Veil to that extent, and if they tap out for like a Blighted Agent, we can duress them, take their pump spell or take their force, then plan for a Doomsday after. If they present like a huge threat, though, we might just jam as well. The thing is, this Veil's gonna get us sooner or later. Our opponent's just kind of not doing anything, which I don't mind. I think I just pass. They're not presenting any pressure. We can like surveil in their end step or even brainstorm into surveil and try to set up for something. So here's a noble. We kind of want them to tap down. I think I will fire an EOT brainstorm here. See if we can convert some of our cards around. Okay. It's another force, which seems really nice. And then I guess we're getting rid of like Lotus Petal Basic Island. Is that insane? And then we could pick up Undercity Sewers here. The Basic Island wasn't quite the land we wanted. I guess Lotus Petal would have been fine, but to go like duress into Doomsday, but oh, there's a Thoughtseize. What do we think about that? I think I can put the Thoughtseize into my graveyard. We'll draw for turn. Another Brainstorm. I'm going to fire the Duress now, I think. So they do have the Veil. Do we want to force this? I don't think so. So maybe the Duress is just not exactly what we want to be doing. I will cast Brainstorm now. They've got days for Brainstorm. Okay. In that case, we'll just pass the turn. So we did get, I mean, I was right on them having Veil, and then I just decided to cast Duress into it, but they had days for our force anyways. What the heck is a Necropede? A 1/1 infect for 2. When it dies, you can put a -1/-1 counter on a creature. Okay. There's another duress. Do they have another veil? Spell pierce. Okay. I mean, at some point we could spoils for a dark ritual, but we'll see. I think that is something we could do. All right, so Invigorate's going to give it +4/+4. I think Invigorate's fine. Do I have to spoils here? 2 of our brainstorms are gone, so we can't spoil for brainstorm. We could spoil for dark ritual, hope to draw something, but we kind of have to win next turn. So how do we win next turn? We'll go to our turn. I'm not going to cast spoils. There's just dark ritual. And now we have dark ritual plus spoils, which is really cool. I guess we can play around another spell pierce here. Let's go dark ritual. Let's go Doomsday. Doomsday resolves. I kind of feel like they have Consign, right? So if they have Consign, we might want Thoughtseize, and then we can take Thassa's Oracle. I mean, I could Thoughtseize, spoils for Brainstorm, cast Brainstorm. They probably have Consign, right? Short-circuiting here. We need like one more land for the spoils to be like super clean. Thoughtseize, Oracle, Cavern. This doesn't let me win next turn though. And we kind of have to win next turn. How do we win next turn and beat Consign? I guess we go like Thassa's Oracle, Thoughtseize, Street Wraith, Brainstorm, Lion's Eye Diamond. Oracle on the bottom, LED, Street Wraith, Brainstorm, Thoughtseize. Go ahead and I don't know. This is a tough spot because we are going to have to force as well. Maybe I'm playing around too many things here. Depending on how they tap, though, like we can always just play spoils, name Oracle. That beats Endurance. But it kind of feels like they've got Berserk. Berserk will kill us. So we have to force the Berserk. And now we don't have the luxury of playing around Consign to Memory. And so we just have to cast Spoils of the Vault, I believe.
This is Scott chiming in from a shitty laptop microphone in the future to say that I think there's a world where we're actually supposed to make a double Oracle pile here. Where we play Oracle, it gets consigned, it blocks their infect creature, and then we have a follow-up Oracle the next turn.
Thassa's Oracle. I mean, let's see if they have. Let's see if they have consign. Yeah. Yeah. So that's unfortunate. I mean, they got a lot of interaction. The Veil of Summer was really good. We kind of took our time, but then we just took that big chunk and weren't able to present a win there. They had consign up the entire time. Um, there's not a lot that we can do about that. I guess we could have made a Jace Wielder of Mysteries pile there to beat the consign, so maybe we can cut Oracle, bring in Jace. I don't hate that. We won the die roll. Would you like to play first? Yes, I would. We've got double Doomsday, Duress plus Street Wraith. I think I'll keep this hand. I'm really looking for mana. I'm gonna fire this Duress now that the Veil is not there. And we'll see if we can take something nice from their hand. So they have a Daze. That's really annoying. They've also got a Brainstorm, which seems to be pretty nice here. They've got Hierarch, Glistener Elf, and Blighted Agent, so we're going to be under a lot of pressure. Ooh, are we beating this Daze, though? But the Brainstorm's so powerful. I'm going to take the Brainstorm. It, like, finds them pump spells to kill us quicker. We're just going to have to find a way to punch through this Daze, I think. So here comes Windswept Heath into Trop. They go in Hierarch. They're just going for the Elf. Yeah, get him dead, they say. Love to draw land here. Brainstorm's not a bad pickup. I kind of don't mind firing Brainstorm here. Personal Tutor's excellent. Then we can Thought Seize them. If we're Thought Seizing them, though, we certainly don't need two Doomsdays. But if we do intend to Thought Seize them here, what do we have to cut? It might have to be Street Wraith. But the Thought Seize is just going to get hit with the Daze anyways, but we kind of want to get the Daze out of their hand, right? I'll put back the Wraith, and I think we're going to Thought Seize. If this takes the Daze, we're like fairly happy with that. Like, I think that's what we're going to take anyways, so it's fine if they Daze here. And if they Daze, they're going to put themselves back on a land, which could be bad. Yeah, so we'll take Daze. And then we'll pass. We're going to draw back up to 5. Play out their Pendle Haven. Play out their Noble Hierarch. Pump their Glistener Elf attack. There. Draw Dark Ritual for turn. Well, that's kind of cool. Now I really wish I had that Street Wraith, but c'est la vie. Let's go for a Dark Ritual Doomsday here. Dark Ritual Doomsday. So, I mean, there's so many things we could do. Could put Thassa on the bottom. I actually don't mind using Spoils of the Vault again. Thassa's on the bottom. We could put like Spoils on top. Thoughtseize can check for a consign. Thoughtseize spoils Thassa. land. Oh yeah, we do need to make sure we put a land in there actually. And so Jace can come out. We could probably put like a street wraith in there. So underground sea on the bottom, Oracle on top, street wraith on top of Oracle, Thoughtseize, and then spoils. We have force. If they like tap out of consign, it's blink moth. There's hierarch. There's glistener elf. This thing's going to attack for 4, which puts us to 7. So we just have to, again, we're in the same spot we were last time, where consign will kill us. And there probably was a way to beat consign here, but let's do that. Let's fetch here. Let's jam Thassa. And I think our opponent said GG's well played, so I think we got there. And yeah, sweet. That was a very tight match. This matchup I actually haven't played that much. I played it actually in the last local 1K that I played in. I played it against blue green infect in the last round, and I won there too. But I remember thinking, you know, a lot of the things that are bad about Delver, like they don't have lightning bolt, obviously, but they also are only trying to deal 10 damage to us, and they have ways to pump their creatures. I kind of feel like we got away with something there, and that there was probably a pile I could have built that beat consign on that turn, but I kind of just felt like they didn't have it. Maybe that's terrible Magic playing, but c'est la vie. Alrighty, everybody, here for round number 2. We've got the cheeky turn 1 spoils of the vault for Doomsday if we want it, but I think I might actually cast Ponder. I'm going to keep this hand. I don't know what my opponent plays. Something tells me they play Delver, though. I don't think I can afford to get basic island, though, with this hand. So I can, like, Ponder first, use spoils to try to find Doomsday, or use spoils to try to find Doomsday. I kind of just don't want to die though to spoils when we have a ponder, so I'll start by not playing all in, and then we'll we shall see. We're kind of looking for a second land here to vent against Wasteland, and then I mean there's just the Doomsday. So now we just got to really hope that they don't have Wasteland, and then we have to decide whether we want Consider or Cavern. I kind of don't mind picking up Cavern. So we'll go Consider on the bottom, Doomsday on top of Consider with Cavern on top. We will not shuffle. We'll draw Cavern. This plays around Thoughtseize. We've got a Force of Will, and we'll be able to present a Dark Ritual Doomsday on our next turn. So there's a blue-black land. Yep, the old Polluti D. Do we want to go for it here? We're playing around Daze, and we have Force of Will. We also have Spoils of the Vault. There's no way to, like... We would have 4 mana here, so we could spoils for something. What if we went like Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, Doomsday? I'm going to play out Cavern naming Merfolk. Then we're going to go Dark Ritual. And then I think we're going to go Cabal Ritual here. And then we're going to play Doomsday. And I might just spoils for a land. If this gets countered, like if they have multiple pieces of interaction here, Brainstorm? I think Brainstorm's fine. It seems like a desperation Brainstorm to me. Let's see if it found what they were looking for. It did not. So now we can just like spoils for a land, I think. We could so we could put Underground Sea in the pile. Or we could have Polluted Delta, or even just like Scalding Tarn. And then we have the Thassa. Could just be like Edge. Does Edge work? I think so. And we have Force of Will. Yeah, this is the pile I'm gonna make. So we're gonna put Underground Sea on the bottom, Thassa's Oracle on top of Underground Sea, and then we could go Scalding Tarn Edge and just mill the Tarns or the edges, sorry, with the spoils. That would like play around. I don't know what it would play around. I don't think they're gonna counter this spoils. Yeah. So now we want to name Scalding Tarn. And then we'll pass the turn. And now our deck is just, we draw Thassa's Oracle, play Scalding Tarn, fetch. Draw Thassa's Oracle, play Scalding Tarn, fetch for Underground Sea, cast Thassa's Oracle. You love to see it. Is this blue-black Reanimator? I'm kind of getting blue-black Reanimator vibes there. And so we're going to play with that in mind, I think. I think that means we want Duresses and Cabal Therapy and maybe Jace Wielder of Mysteries. Now I said I wanted to race this deck. So if we want to stay true to that, how do we want to proceed? This deck doesn't have a lot in the way of removal, so I could see us cutting Consider, but that can be risky. I love this card so much, by the way. Just saying. Um, we could cut one Street Wraith, although having Cyclers in this matchup I think is pretty good. Um, hmm. Cutting Cabal Rituals doesn't strike me as a terrible idea, though I think I'll keep one of them in the deck. We could go for the 1-for-1 Oracle split with Jace Wielder of Mysteries, but I kind of don't mind going up to 3 win conditions. Maybe we can cut one Personal Tutor, and then we could cut Daze, although we're on the draw here. I don't mind cutting a Daze on the draw, and then we can reevaluate that change in the post-score board games. I still like Lion's Eye Diamond because it allows for like Thought Sees You, Brainstorm into LED plus Cycler Oracle kind of lines. Um, I'm content. I'm going to try this. I still don't know exactly how I want to sideboard against blue-black Reanimators, so I don't know. Last time we screwed up by bringing in a bunch of creatures. This time we will not make that error. And now we have to ask ourselves whether this is the kind of hand we would like to use to play Magic. We've got a way to check their hand. We've got spoils to potentially find Doomsday, and we have Force plus Ponder. I think I'll keep this. It's not the best hand in that it needs a lot to go right. Our opponent's on a mull to 5, though, so that feels pretty nice for us, I'm not going to lie. I kind of love to see a mull to 5. Alrighty. We got the Delta again. A Delta into pass. Again, I'm putting them on Reanimator. I don't know if that's actually what they're playing. Oh wow, would you look at that, huh? There's Doomsday. I kind of just want to duress them. Let's see what they've got cooking here. Having this Doomsday now is really nice. Are they going to fire a Brainstorm, and am I going to force their Brainstorm if they cast it here? Oh, Entomb. How aggressively do we want to fight over that? I think I'm fine to let the Entomb resolve here. Could be risky, but we might need this force to protect our Doomsday. Yeah, so they do have double reanimate. Yeah. So now we're going to have to force a reanimate, I think. Because if this Atraxa hits the table, we're in really rough shape. And then we might need to like spoils for. If they drew days here, we are just up Shit's Creek without a fucking paddle. Okay. Good, good. I might just spoils of the vault for Dark Ritual here. See what we draw. Brainstorm. Hmm. Brainstorm's a pretty powerful card to have in your hand. They've got one card left in hand. It is unknown. Let's push our advantage right here. I mean, we could die, right? Dark Ritual. Oh my fucking god. Uh, yep. You live by the sword, you die by the sword, folks. My goodness. My fucking goodness. Okay. Remember when I was saying, like, just a moment ago how much I love Spoils of the Vault? Oh, it's such a fucking rush. Woo! All right. All right. All right. Let's focus. Can we cut a personal tutor? That puts our blue count down. I think I'm going to cut an Oracle and run a little bit of a risk gambit here. And yeah, double cycler, personal tutor, pedal pedal. I mean, this just folds to their interaction. I think we have to mulligan this hand. It seems too glass cannony to me. This one I suppose that we keep, and I think we have to put Doomsday on the bottom. Maybe you keep the last hand, but they have so many cards in their deck that just completely destroy us, right? I'm gonna go for an Undercity Sewers. There's a Lotus Petal. Oh wow. We could keep that on top. And then next turn we can decide, like if they tap out, maybe this Daze will be enough to jam the Doomsday through, then we can use the Duress to kind of protect. But I think it's probably wisest just to duress our opponent now because they didn't tap out. Oh wow, they've got Orcish Bowmasters, Force of Will, Brainstorm. Could take their force. Surgical's going to be really annoying. I think I will take force though in this spot. And then I guess I could cast this Brainstorm now. Well, they can't cast their Orcish Bowmasters. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my goodness. What if I put this Lotus Petal back and I just put Doomsday on top of the deck and then pass? Right, they still have this Surgical though, which is going to be really annoying. So they're brainstorming in their end step. I could have dazed that brainstorm as well. Okay, that Wasteland was a really, really good draw for them. That's going to make this quite a bit more challenging, I think. Let's go Dark Ritual Doomsday. Stays is turned off. They've got another brainstorm. And they've got an Orcish Bowmasters in their hand. Oh man, this is a lot to fight through. I'm assuming the Fanatic is gone. Doomsday resolves. How much time do we have though? We kind of need Island as our draw. We could draw Island, play Island, cast Brainstorm, and then Brainstorm could give us like Thoughtseize, Oracle, and Cavern. And then we could put like Spoils in there or something. Thoughtseize, Cavern, Oracle. We need one more card. What like helps us here? Something tells me Spoils could be good, but that seems to strike me as involving a bunch of passing, which we don't necessarily want to do. Doing this from strictly Swamp is really, really hard. So we might actually just want to go for like a. The thing is, there's like this surgical coming as well. So we actually want probably Duress instead of Thoughtseize because they have a Bowmasters. Could be something to this effect is what I'm thinking, and we're just gonna have to kind of make it work. This involves passing a lot. So we know we want Island on top. We go Cavern, no, Oracle, Cavern, Edge, Duress, Island, and we pass. Surgical on the Doomsday. And I think we let that go. I think we let that go. We see how our deck was shuffled. Okay, so they have a Bowmasters now. I really want to draw the Island here. What is this? How do we feel about Thoughtseize? I think I have to let the Thoughtseize go. Oh man. Maybe I was supposed to force that surgical, but it felt kind of like not the best thing to be doing. Oh, they're cycling Troll of Khazad-dûm. We are going to have to force this, I believe. Probably pitching Days. We draw the Island. Think I brainstorm now? The question is whether I duress them here or duress them before. Um, Put duress on top, leave edge in hand. There's a reanimate on the Troll of Khazad-dûm. Sure. They also have Bowmasters, probably. If they also have Bowmasters, which I suspect them to, I think we're dead. Here. So they Bowmasters me to 8 to then attack for 8. Yeah. This is just one turn too slow. I don't like that we know that they have bowmasters, so yeah. All right. That'll be that. We're really gonna have to figure out some way to stop this reanimator deck, maybe by showing it a bit of respect with Leyline to the Void. I think that'd be a bad idea, to be honest. I'm just not sure how we're gonna fit it in there. This hand I'm going to mulligan, which does not look interesting to me. Um, this one I think we can keep, and we can put Thassa on the bottom. We are on the play. The question here is whether we pass with Force up and Ponder next turn, or we just cast Ponder right now. I think I'm going to pass with Force up and cast Ponder next turn. This also serves the purpose of playing against around Wasteland, and it allows us in our opponent's end set to get a Surveil land to still get some selection. Here's another Windswept Heath. This time, I'm guessing it's Nadu, but we shall see. Mana Bond. How scary is Mana Bond? Potentially very scary. I think I'm gonna force it. And then I might even spoils for Doomsday here. There's an argument to not forcing that, but I mean they could just like have Merit Lage or Field of the Dead or something here. Do we want to cast spoils named Doomsday? We did not learn our lesson last time. Let's do it. That time we got away with it. And we did not exile both our oracles either, so that is good to know. There's a duress. Let's play Lotus Petal. Let's cast Doomsday. And then we're gonna need to beat... Like, we can beat Wasteland by just building a Brainstorm pile, but we can't beat two Wastelands by doing that. They could also be playing Endurance, but I really don't know what like Mana Bond lands plays these days. I'm pretty scared of Wasteland, and so I kinda don't mind just building a Brainstorm LED pile here, and if they've got Duress, then Endurance. Bob can be their uncle. We're also gonna go to 6. I think it's fine to include a Street Wraith. Thassa's Oracle and a Consider. Like, is this unnecessarily risky? I just feel like any other line, like we could take like a really slow, safe line where we like draw fetch land, play fetch land, duress our opponent, pass. I'm just gonna swing for the fences though, I think. We've used our force on that mana bond, which is kind of unfortunate, but this is the way that it goes. And then we just kind of gotta hope that they don't double wasteland us, which I guess is something that they definitely can do. Like they can just go wasteland, crop rotation, wasteland. I'm really hoping they don't have that combination of cards. But I think this mana bond version is more all in, if I recall. They might even play things like mulch. Okay, so they don't have the first wasteland. That's exceptional for us. Then the next problem is going to be whether or not they have endurance. They chose land with Winding Way. They could have chosen creature. So that either means that they already have endurance in deck, or like already have endurance in their hand, or they're just not playing endurance. Because naming creature there seems pretty sweet. We are going to play Brainstorm though. We'll put Duress back with Consider on top. We'll cast Lion's Eye Diamond. We'll hold control, cycle Street Wraith. Crack this for triple blue. We'll pick up Consider. We'll bin this and ask our opponent if they've got a main deck endurance. Does not look like they do. All right. All right, we like that. Against lands. Force of Negation's interesting. So like one of my friends at my locals plays lands, but they're on like the Sphere of Resistance deck, and so like version of the deck, and so I'm not sure if I'm supposed to board the same way against this opponent as I was against my friend. I think we certainly want Basic Island. This is also a matchup where having the four C's isn't a bad thing. Like I think if it ever comes up where the three C's hurts you, it's against a deck like lands in like a really begrueling long game. Can also see Cabal Therapy being good at naming either Consign or Endurance. Um, for that reason, we might actually not need this Duress. And then the question just is how many of these fawns do we want? We can cut Cavern of Souls. We can probably cut a couple of Cabal rituals again, just because sometimes they're going to be wastelanding us down hard. We love the Lotus Petals here. Kind of love most of the other things. Could see cutting a Thoughtseize actually being fine. Like we just have one Cabal Therapy, two Thoughtseizes in our deck. And then don't mind Personal Tutor. Don't know that we need Consider. So let's cut Consider. Actually, Daze is pretty bad, isn't it? Daze is not that good against this opponent. So maybe we actually don't mind having a little bit of extra mana in our deck. And we submit like so. They could play Disruptor Flute too. I will have a sip of an ice cold beer and we will contemplate whether we made good choices or bad choices. The old Cabal Therapy, that old skipper. What do we think about this one? It's kind of pretty close, right? I think I'm going to keep it. We are cantrip away from a turn 2 Dark Ritual Doomsday. We can play off Basic Island to cast this Ponder. We have Cabal Therapy to name Endurance if that ends up being what we're worried about. We could also Cabal Therapy naming Disruptor Flute. We have no way to stop a turn 1 Mana Bond. They are leading on a Field of the Dead. Okay. That is not that threatening at this juncture. Second Dark Rit can be good. Let's start off here with a Ponder, and let's just hope to find Doomsday, right? There's Island, here's Ponder. That is not a Doomsday. We're going to any order shuffle that. Picking up Force of Will. All around pretty terrible draw. There's Yavamaya. There's Exploration. There's Caracas. Here is Sphere of Resistance. That's not good. Okay. You've got a Sphere, opponent. You don't have a whole heck of a lot else going on, though. Huh. Ha 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 ha. Let's play. How does this work? Underground Sea. Dark Ritual for 2 up to 3. Dark Ritual for 4, Doomsday. Then there's the skipper of having to put an Oracle onto the stack, which seems rather difficult, but they're also not doing anything pressuring at this particular juncture, so I think I'm happy to go for it here. We're gonna go Dark Ritual up to 3, Dark Ritual up to 4, cast Doomsday. And then we've got Ghost Quarter to worry about too. There's no way that their last two cards are like Spirit Guide, Disruptor Flute, right? Opponent's deep in the tank here. For what it's worth, I should have played this Lotus Petal out. We're in a much worse spot because I didn't. Not every land deck plays Sphere of Resistance, but the fact that they might play Sphere, I think it's still reason enough for us to just jam the pedal on turn one. That's going to cost us potentially a turn here. The Doomsday pile I'm imagining is something like we have second island on the bottom of our deck, and then we have like Underground Sea on top of that, with an Oracle on top of it, and then like a fetch land on top of our deck. And then we draw fetch land, and then like cycle down to Oracle and put Oracle on the stack, perhaps. Um, it's going to depend if we kind of get like wastelanded too, whether or not we actually want to Cabal Therapy our opponent, or there's just no good way to put a Force of Will into our pile. We do have this extra Lotus Petal, actually, which we could, if we wanted to pass twice, I think we could. Or we could just say that this is enough for them. Not sure what my opponent's doing. Maybe they're just running my clock down to exactly 1926. uh, yeah, we'll cast this Doomsday. Let's take a Thassa's Oracle. Let's take an Island. Let's take an Underground Sea. Let's take a Flooded Strand. And then we get one more card, which I think should just be like a Street Wraith. And we just say, if we decide we feel like we need to play around against Endurance, we can Cabal Therapy name Endurance. I just don't foresee us actually ever having a good time to force here. And this lets us, like, if they don't wasteland us, just put an Oracle directly onto the stack next turn. So let's go Island on the bottom, Underground Sea underneath it. Then we'll go Oracle, Street Wraith, Strand. They wasteland us, we can cash in the Edge. And then we can like play Lotus Petal. I don't know. They play a second Sphere here. Winding Way. Okay, that's great. Because this means, what did they reveal? They do have Wasteland. Wasteland, Tabernacle, Maze of Ith. Okay. So I think we cash in our Edge right here. Oh no. Yeah, I think the Ghost Quarter is going to do it there. The Ghost Quarter might do it there. Now let's play this. Let's tap that, play Petal. And then I guess we just have to pass. Really glad I added that extra land. Kind of wish this Street Wraith now was a blue card, but c'est la vie. If they have Life from the Loam here, we're dead. This looks like a life. Yeah. We got completely ground out there. We've got Underground Sea left in our deck, but the island's going. Man, that Ghost Quarter was really, really good. Okay, let's keep fighting on the same axis. If we're on the play, I think I'll keep the therapy. Hmm. This hand's got a force of negation, which can slow them down, but it's not really got a fast route to Doomsday. We do have a Doomsday. I mean, I could mulligan looking for something a little more aggressive. That could also be a mistake. This strikes me as pretty slow. I'm gonna mull. I think we need something a little more aggressive against lands. We'll keep this hand. Probably bottom a fawn. And then we'll play ponder. Lands is supposed to be a pretty good matchup for Doomsday, but these are not really the cards we're looking for. When they just wasteland you out like that, it's pretty bad. We were pretty resilient. We were resilient to wasteland. It was just the ghost quarter that really got us there. I just feel like we have to fawn that. I think there can just be a world where the game is just over if that resolves. That's kind of nice. I'm gonna play this brainstorm here. Hmm. We could put back Underground Sea with Doomsday on top, play out this basic swamp, and then pass with Forcep. It's a lush portico. Then we'll play this Verdant Catacombs. And then we'll draw the Underground Sea. Field of the Dead pass. Underground Sea, fetch. Underground Sea, Doomsday. Got Force of Will to beat Endurance. So I think we can go like Oracle, Oracle. Maybe even the double Oracle's too crazy. Man, if we just had Jace, that'd be a pretty sweet. Oh no, you'd never want to put Jace in your pile here. Street Wraith, Street Wraith, Edge. Just very kind of simple. Oracle on the bottom, Oracle on the bottom, Edge, Wraith, Wraith. We have Force in hand, and the Force is just going to have to be good enough. Yeah, Exploration's fine.
Oh, oh.
Damn, if they have double Wasteland, though, we're just dead. Crazy. Yep.
I suppose the second Oracle could have been an additional land.
All right. I thought we were relatively safe there, but I guess not. I guess not. All right, everybody, welcome to round number 3. This hand does not play Magic. This hand also does not play Magic. Ooh, we're kind of train wrecking here, aren't we? We'll mulligan again. This hand plays Magic. We'll put back Dark Ritual. And maybe Undercity Sewers. Then we will go Underground Sea. Dark Ritual Doomsday. With Daze backup. I've got Force Pitch Narset. We've got Daze. Doomsday's in. Force Pitch Narset leads me to believe that they're on like a pretty slow deck. Oh, they're just scooping it up here. I kind of like not having to make that pile, but I think I'm making a slow pile there with like Cavern, maybe even double Oracle, um, maybe like a Thought Seize. I don't know. Not like a super slow pile, but not a Not a fast pile either. Love that we have spoils in the deck to beat Narset, so that's definitely staying there. This is some kind of control deck. I think I want this Jace. And we probably want Duresses and Cabal Therapies, and we might want the Shieldred. Though they'll probably leave in some number of plows. I think we can slow right down, cut some number of Cabal Therapies. I think we can cut like a Personal Tutor. I think we can cut maybe even a Lotus Petal. Because Lotus Petal is kind of like card disadvantage. We could just slow right down like this. Do we want to add any force of negations? I don't think so at this juncture. I kind of don't mind just taking out a bunch of fast mana, slowing down a little bit, trying to grind. Kind of here for that. I can cut LED too. Like maybe you just never really want to discard your hand against control. Um, Double Thoughtseize, Force Pitch Thassa, Lion's Eye Diamond. I'm going to keep this hand. It's pretty far away from doing anything, but it does have multiple layers of protection. So I'm here to experiment with those layers of protection. This Daze is fine. I'm going to lead on a Thoughtseize, then we're going to like hold this Duress. This will just give us a lay of the land here. They're going to cast Brainstorm, and I think I'm actually going to Daze the Brainstorm. I don't have a lot going on, and so I don't mind just slowing them down. Wow, they've got a Teferi Hero of Dominaria, Teferi Time Raveler, a Surgical Extraction, and a Consign to Memory. They've only got one land, so we could take their Lorien Revealed here. I think we do just have to take Consign, though. Maybe I was supposed to take Lorien Revealed, actually, and then we take the Consign with the second Duress, but something tells me that we don't have like a fast route to the combo here by any measure. And so I don't mind holding on to this Duress. So they're going to pick up their Tundra, play their Tundra, and probably pass. They've got a lot of clunk in their hand. We've just got to hope to find the things that we're kind of looking for here. Personal Tutor is not a bad pickup. We could just put Doomsday right into our hand right now, which wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, the Tutor's disadvantage too, but then at least we have one of the things that we're looking for and we can start surveilling thereafter. This will also put the Fear of God in our opponent. I mean, they can Surgical us to shuffle our deck, which is pretty funny, actually. I honestly wouldn't even mind if they did that. I wonder if they'll have the heads up play to do that. This Brainstorm can resolve. Surgical Personal Tutor, sure. I should have thought that one through a little bit. It's usually fine to do that if you have like a Cycler in your hand to bring the Doomsday in, but honestly, if they want to take Personal Tutors out of my deck, they can be my guest. I would have definitely Surgical Thoughtseize there if I was my opponent. I feel like Thoughtseize is the card that will get them in the long run. So now they are going to deploy a Teferi Hero
Time
of Dominaria
Raveler.
next turn, which will shut off our Force of Will. I think I actually want to Duress. We'll take the Teferi Time Raveler. Leave them with Dominaria Plowshares. And I think just pass. We've got a Surveil land. We've got a Force of Will. We are down to Duress now, but I kind of didn't want them to jam that Teferi. Things can get a little sketchy. I'll take Duress. Maybe we have to ping their next Teferi too. We could also just force that Teferi. I'm going to Duress them again. Well, we know the contents of their hand. I'm gonna pass actually. So if they draw a land and put Big Teferi on the stack, I will Force of Will it. And then we have the duress to kind of hold on to. Lotus Field. This is crazy. Sure. There's a Doomsday. We know the contents of their hand. Fairy Hero of Dominaria. We're gonna cast Doomsday here. Doomsday's on the stack. We can cycle to a cavern and then just like duress them, play Oracle. They've got Swords to Plowshares, so we need one, two, three, four. And they're scooping it up again. They just do not want to wait around for Doomsday piles. So, okay, that was a pretty quick match. I think I don't mind the Jeskai control matchup. It never felt too bad for me. And let's see if we go 2-3 or 3-2, I guess. This is crazy. So, yeah, the lands opponent just buried us in Wastelands. And then the Reanimator, I really need to figure out what I need to do about that because I find that deck still to be just so obnoxiously powerful. And like now they're just like never even tapping out on on turn two to play a Psychic Frog, uh, and just like putting their shields down. They just like always pass. So they are kind of representing Consign, EOT, Entomb, Reanimate. Um, yeah. All right, we got the meat pop here. I love that name. The meat pop. So much cooler than mine. My name is Dumb. Oh man. I made my account in high school and this was just a silly nickname that I had. What do we think about this hand? It's not the best hand. It's pretty slow. I think I'll keep though. We're on the draw, so we can pick up a card. We can like personal tutor on turn one to get Doomsday if we draw like Dark Ritual or Lotus Petal or Cabal Ritual for that matter. Um, if we find like a blue card, that's always nice too. Our opponent's on a mull to 6. And we are just not dead to a turn one combo deck unless they also have protection. So, Hedge Maze. You got it. Nadu question mark? A second P-Toot. Well, I don't think I want to go P-Tooting right now. So we're going to play up this Polluted Delta and pass. They've got a Brainstorm. I'm not going to counter that. They may storm away. I'd like to hold this force for as long as I possibly can. And yeah, I mean, we shall see. We shall see. Urza's Saga. So this is Cephalid Breakfast, and now I'm a little scaredy pants, I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm a little bit scared. I actually don't mind days, I don't think. An extra layer of protection doesn't seem terrible in this spot. Let's play Underground Sea, cast Personal Tutor. Let's put Doomsday on top of our deck and pass. So we don't have a win next turn. We're going to have to pass. But ideally we can pass with 2 layers of protection up, and ideally we don't have to expend our days this turn. It would be very good to not have to expend our days. I really love that my opponent is casting Ponder here. I would love them to like tap out. I would really love them to tap out. Kind of looks like that's what they might be doing. They're also not going to be able to play a Saga here. Another Ponder. Yeah, that Ponder will resolve. And they shuffled off the first one too, so they're like really looking for Force of Will here. The fact that they're playing around days with this Saga though is kind of not is kind of annoying for us. But c'est la vie, maybe we can use this days to stop something they've got on their turn. We've got Doomsday on top. It's been a really long day. I am mentally exhausted. But it does feel good at the end of a long day to sit down, crack open a nice beer, and play some Doomsday. I'm not gonna lie. I'm having a blast. Those wastelands were pretty crippling out of that land's opponent, though. I felt really safe there, but maybe I was over secure. So there's our Doomsday. We've got Edge in hand. I kind of just want to fetch out right now, grab our Underground Sea, cast our Doomsday. Then this is Cephalid Breakfast, so I don't think Cephalid Breakfast has main deck Endurance. In fact, I think we just want to go for Cavern, Oracle, Edge, Wraith, Wraith. They can get Shuko off their Saga. There's no way. Yeah, they can get Edge off or Shuko off their Saga, play an Illusionist, and then I can force, and if they force back, am I supposed to just have double force here, actually? Are we just supposed to forego the Cavern of Souls, put second Force of Will into our pile? I think that's actually what I want to do, because I don't think this days is going to be good enough. So now we can edge into force, force, pitch, force, pitch, force, and then draw and cycle down. That's what we're going to do. And then the Force of Will just have to be like kind of like a pseudo Cavern of Souls. So we're going to go Oracle on the bottom, Edge on top of Oracle, Wraith, Force on top. And we're going to pass. And this will give us 2 counter spells to fight against their Cephalid Illusionist. Did they end up keeping off that second Ponder? I never checked. They did not shuffle. So they liked the cards that they had. And yeah, we're going to see if Double Force is good. I think I liked that last minute swap I made for the Cavern of Souls. I really do. And we're going to hope it's good enough, everybody. Hoo-wee. Our opponent is really looking at our cards. So I'm worried about dying on their turn because they're representing Shuko off this Sagas, which is why I added the second Force. So what I'm guessing is going to happen is that they're going to float mana off their Saga. They're going to put a Shuko into play. They're going to like play a land and then cast a Cephalid Illusionist, and then we're going to force, and then they're going to force, and then we're going to force. And then hopefully they'll have nothing left after that. They won't be able to win, and we'll be able to win. This is where they just get like freaking Pithing Needle. Nope, there's the Shuko as we expected. Yup, there's the island. There's the Illusionist. Here's the first Force. Resolves. There's the second Illusionist. Here's a Cycle Edge. And then Daze? Possible I was supposed to force that anyways. If they have Daze, they can Daze my my Cavern or my Oracle. But if we pass and they have Nadu, we're just so far gone, right? But yeah, if I forced there, if they had days though, they daze my first force, right? Like they don't have days. They might have force though. Doesn't look like it. Okay, we got there. So this could have been a cavern after all, but I think it was right to ensure that it wasn't a cavern. Cephalid illusionist. Cephalid breakfast. I mean, these discard spells are putting in work. I don't think we want fawns against breakfast. Do we want Jace Wielder of Mysteries against breakfast? Our creatures just aren't good enough at beating breakfast. Hmm. They're not going to be wastelanding us. I could see trimming like an oracle, in which case we could also trim the spoils of the vault. And then I could cut consider probably, and one personal tutor. That's cutting a lot of blue cards though, which I don't really like. So maybe a cabal ritual. I don't mind that. Let's do that actually, yeah. I don't think I want Jace in this matchup. Maybe I do to play around Consign. We could put Jace in there, cut like one personal tutor, just to have a way to play around Consign if we can. It's possible Jace is too slow, but it can also just be a value engine. We're on the draw. Is it this hand? This hand seems alright. I think I'll keep this. We've got lots of options. That's for sure. How we're going to use our options is another story, but we'll see. We'll see. There's Tundra. There's a Nomad's Encore. I don't really want to force that. If they have a Cavern in hand, ooh me oh my, that's bad. I think I have to duress my opponent. Oh, Dark Ritual's insane. I think I have to duress my opponent though. So let's start by doing that. Force of Will, Illusionist, Nadu. Take Force of Will. We've got Force of Will. But that will mean we lose our Brainstorm. I kind of want a personal tutor here. Is that insane? I'm going to do it. It's 2 away. Grab a Doomsday, pass the turn. We're going to force their Illusionist. And then we'll play like Dark Ritual Doomsday, cast Undercity Sewers, just like bin a card or something. There's the Strand. Here comes the Illusionist. Then they're going to have a Nadu to follow up. They drew the Force. And I guess we get to see our opponent's deck, but this game is over. Okay, so they've got Force of Will, Daze, Sign to Memory, Consign to Memory, Flusterstorm, Orm's Chant, Snapcaster, Consign to Memory. So they're on 3 consigns, 1 fluster. Yeah. All right. For all the marbles. I should have checked if they had swords in their deck. That would have been good to know. This hand. I mean, they're not a wasteland deck. I think we could keep it. Just lead on Undercity Sewers pass. Be so sick to find a land here. Run a Maul to 6. We'll play Undercity Sewers. There's a land. It's not quite the one that we're looking for, but I'm kind of happy with it, to be honest. I kind of hope that we don't need to daze them turn 1, but if they go for a Nomads on turn 1, I might daze it. Although I'll probably let it resolve, to be honest. I will let it resolve if they play a Nomads on turn one because that means they're not representing consigned to memory. Looks like they're using their mana for whatever. Shuko. Yeah, that's fine. Gotta hope they gotta. I really hope they just force this Doomsday. And then we can just probably make a. They did not force the Doomsday. They force it, right? Like, oh man. Do we just go for the win here? Okay, so option one, they didn't force this. They could have days, which would be really bad if they dazed our, but we have days, our brainstorm. Cast brainstorm. They have Shuko though. We could ponder into Force of Will. Ponder into Force. Yeah. Let's take Force. Let's take Cabal Therapy. And then let's take Lion's Eye Diamond, Thassa's Oracle, Street Wraith, cast Ponder, draw Force of Will, untap Upkeep, draw Cabal Therapy, play Cabal Therapy off Swamp, naming Consign to Memory, and then Brainstorm. Kind of like that. So the bottom cards are like so. This might have been like extra safe, but I kind of don't mind it. We could have won right there though if they just didn't have anything. But if they were like slow rolling the force, I don't think they would be slow rolling the force. But yeah, Windswept Heath pass. Interesting. This could get a little precarious. Consign to memory. They have the consign. Nice. Okay, so this worked out exactly how we wanted it to. Now the consign's gone. Wow, they had the cavern. Oh my goodness, they had the cavern. I did not factor the cavern into my cup of tea there, but you know, let's put Days on the bottom. Let's put Thassa on top. Let's go pick up another 3/2, shall we? Hold control, cycle the Street Wraith, crack this for triple blue, draw Thassa's Oracle, cast Thassa's Oracle, and Bob's your uncle. That is another Legacy League, another 3/2. I'm really sorry that I can't do any better than 3/2, it seems, but uh, I mean, I don't really care. That's just kind of the way that it goes. I think the deck is great. Um, I think that we could consider playing some number of Leyline of the Voids in our sideboard, but I just generally dislike ley lines in Magic. I don't know. Every time I put a ley line in my deck, I just draw it and it just feels so bad. And I mean, even just like Dark Ritual playing out a ley line of the Void seems terrible. If we were to add ley lines into the deck, I could potentially see You could run like a 1-1 split of Jace Wielder of Mysteries Thassa in the main deck. And then you could probably cut like, so that would free up the Jace slot for Jace is just a ley line. And then you could probably cut like a Duress and a Fawn and like one of these three cards. And there you would get access to 4 copies of Leyline of the Void. But I love having 4 Force of Negation. We boarded these discard spells in like every match except lands. Like they're just so good. I think just having 8 discard spells in your 75 is so good right now. That, but the Reanimator deck is still so oppressive. I'm not sure what to do about it. I think I'm gonna run the same 75, but on the weekend. But I'm not sure. I'll let you know if I make any changes. Maybe I'll play the list that I play on the weekend again. As far as Doomsday is concerned, though, I really like the makeup of this list as it stands. Spoils did kill us, I guess, against Reanimator, but I think it was very unlikely to kill us against Reanimator there. I think we were at like 19. We had 4 Dark Rituals in our deck, and we hit it. Like it was just the perfect spot to jam the spoils, I think. Like we ran our opponent out of resources. We had a Doomsday in hand. We just jammed the spoils, get the Dark Ritual, cast the Doomsday, pass the turn. That would have been great, I think, in that spot. It just like we, I don't know, we milled so many cards. We like took like 14 extra damage after we had died. And so that's just like super unlucky. I mean, whenever you cast this spell though, before Doomsday has resolved, like whenever it's not a piles card, you just like always have to cast the spell, like committing yourself to the long run, right? Like there are probabilities and the probabilities are real and you just kind of need to make your choice based off the long run. Like in the long run, right, if we cast Spoils of the Vault a number of times, it probably doesn't kill us that many times. And so even if you die when you cast a spoils, you kind of have to just take the moral high ground, I think, and just say, like, I committed myself to that possibility when I cast this spell, and I can't be mad that I died, and I actually have to die knowing that I made the right choice. Because in the long run, it does work out, right? And so like you're playing tomorrow, you cast the spoils, you get the dark ritual, and you might win the game there. Didn't work out for me, but it's no reason not to play this card. As we saw, it actually has a lot of nice applications in the piles post Doomsday, especially. Like I would have loved to have like let my opponent's Narset resolve, for example, against Jeskai Control, and then just spoils to my Oracle or whatever it may be. I love this card. I think it's pretty sweet. I'm going to keep playing it, and I'm not going to keep playing it only because when I got Bosch and Roll to sign my Ponders, he only signed 3 of them. And then he signed my Spoils of the Vault as the 4th Ponder, so I kind of feel aesthetically obliged to continue on with the with the 3 Ponder 1 spoil split, even though it might not be uh, the best. But I like it. In any case, this was another round with Turbo Doomsday, another 3-2. I mean, going 3-2 is fine. I'm not upset about that at all. But it would be nice to kind of break that barrier at some point here. And so hopefully, in a new video, that will happen. But at this point, I don't think any of us should get our hopes up. But I hope that you enjoyed following along on this video. If you did, consider dropping a like or pushing the little subscribe button. That'd be neat. But again, no pressure. You don't have to. I don't care either way. I will just keep playing Dark Ritual Doomsdays. And yeah, that's it. Dark Ritual Doomsday, everybody. Have a wonderful day.